And that is our strength. Because when we're doubted, we'll play as one. When we're held back, we'll go farther and harder. If we're not taken seriously, we'll prove that wrong. And if we don't fit the sport, we'll change the sport. We know things won't always go our way.
And the world's sporting events are postponed or cancelled.
But whatever it is, we'll find a way. And when things aren't fair, we'll come together for change.
We have a responsibility
to make this world a better place.
And no matter how bad it gets, we will always come back stronger. Because nothing can stop what we can do together.
Hello to everyone attending the Nedbank IMC Conference. I hope you are all doing well. I'm Greg Hoffman, and it is an honor to speak with you today on the theme of marketing relevance. The film you have just seen is one example of Nike's long history of delivering distinctive storytelling to inspire and serve athletes of all types and skill levels around the world. When we as a marketing industry are able to use our creativity to develop more relevant and memorable stories and experiences on a consistent basis, we build deep relationships with our audiences and empower our customers to achieve their dreams and aspirations.
I call this creatively driven approach to marketing emotion by design, the art of building emotional bonds between brands and their audiences. I spent over 27 years at Nike, where I started as a design intern and became chief marketing officer. And today I will share creative leadership lessons from my new book, Emotion by Design, that brings to life that experience. It's fitting to start the conversation on emotion by design with this image of the Air Force One sneaker. It's a shoe that was created 40 years ago, yet today it continues to be the biggest selling sneaker in the industry and also remains the most culturally relevant sneaker on the streets around the world. It is both accessible and aspirational. So how is this long-term relevance possible? The success comes from understanding that as marketers, you need to serve both the rational and emotional needs of your audience. That building a brand is both an art and a science, and it's important to leverage the strategic and creative superpowers of left and right brain thinkers to create that success. If brands desire to create deeper personal and emotional relationships between their products and people, like the Air Force One sneaker example, and not just transactions. If this is the case, then creativity in our marketing is central to stirring these emotions. But when you look at today's brand landscape, there has been a shift in marketing that started prior to the pandemic. A focus on optimization and efficiency and data-driven marketing. A lot of good has come from this shift and acceleration. Data and analytics have given us the ability to be more effective, more timely, more personal, and more productive with our content and storytelling, more than ever before. But while it's given us more, this mindset and approach, I believe, has at some times given us less creativity, less risk-taking, and less innovation. And maybe that great balance of art and science and left and right brain thinking that we talked about has become a bit out of balance. And the result in some cases are more transactional relationships with consumers and less human brands. From the beginning of my Nike journey, it was clear how important emotion in marketing was. When I got the phone call that I had gotten an internship at Nike way back when, I stared at the poster of Michael Jordan in my college apartment. It was a poster that was radically different than any other posters in the marketplace. There was Michael Jordan with his arms outstretched, with the quote by William Blake below him. No bird soars too high if he soars with his own wings. It was clear this was a brand that looked to inspire and motivate everyone to achieve their best. Over the years, we always looked to not only communicate through our marketing the benefits that our products delivered and the needs they satisfied, but at the same time infused and surrounded that product with emotion, creating worlds that we invited the consumer to be a part of. As in this image, it's not just a football uniform, it's an entire world of speed that you get to be a part of. This isn't just a Nike-free running shoe. It's an innovation that feels so flexible and lightweight that you feel like you could fly. The Kobe 9 shoe isn't just an ordinary basketball shoe. It's an invitation to play like Kobe Bryant and his alter ego, the Black Mamba. And this isn't just a mercurial football boot. It's a sports car for your feet. And so now I will share 4 key principles from Emotion by Design to drive those powerful emotional bonds that we covet with our audiences. The first is dare to be remembered. How can we tell stories of our brands in ways that will never be forgotten? The story of your brand is how you choose to express your product, your ideas, and your services to the world. And there isn't just one way to tell your brand story, because your brand isn't just one idea or characteristic. Like any good story, it's comprised of multiple elements and subplots, tangents and twists. Every time you put something out in the world, you are telling your brand story. It's not content, it's your brand story. By expressing different traits, your relatability becomes the ultimate invitation into your brand. So to start, you must articulate what those characteristics of the brand are. Then pull back the curtain of your brand through storytelling to offer a clear view of your brand values. If you allow your audience to see your personality, they will respond to your humanity. For Nike, the story always began with the athlete. It was and remains the foundational element in the Nike brand. And Nike has told stories of inspiration, stories of greatness, stories of humor, and stories about defying the odds. Each story Nike told expressed a different dimension of the brand's personality. To illustrate this further, let's look at 3 examples of iconic Nike advertising. Each example expresses a different dimension of Nike's brand personality. So there you had the iconic Tiger Woods hacky sack commercial, and really expressing the traits of imaginative and playfulness. Now let's look at a commercial that features Kyrie Irving. So there you see Questlove and Kyrie Irving going back and forth and really showcasing a really energetic side of the Nike brand, and a humorous one at that. Now let's look at Cristiano Ronaldo. So here you've just seen three different ways that Nike has expressed its brand's personality through engaging storytelling. Playing different notes in different moments certainly made the Nike brand feel more human, like an athlete. But all the best brands have one thing in common. They touch on the human imagination and elicit an emotional response. I don't care what industry or product or service your brand represents. If your creative output doesn't try to ignite imagination and spark a feeling, then you're missing an opportunity. By expressing different characteristics, you become more relatable and inspirational as a brand, and you are able to stand out better from your competition. Great storytelling allows you to create stronger emotional connections with your consumer. The next principle is create with the community. How can you invite your customer to share their passion for your products with you and celebrate your accomplishments together? To illustrate this principle, I want to share an example of a moment that Nike created, where its consumers could come together one day each year and share their passion and dreams with the world. On March 26, 1987, Nike released the Air Max 1, starting a revolution of innovation, inspiration, and air. It was the first Nike shoe to showcase visible air technology through the window in the shoe's midsole, and it was a revelation at first sight. And over time, numerous groundbreaking Air Max designs have been introduced since that moment, each with its own enthusiastic following. So as we thought about the passion the consumer had for this footwear franchise, we asked the question, what if we created a holiday about an iconic gift item, like one of our sneakers? We understood how florists and greeting card makers had built up Mother's Day, Father's Day, and Valentine's Day. And so on 3/26/2014, 27 years from the day the Air Max sneaker was born, we launched Air Max Day. This was the first time a brand had declared an international holiday for one of its products, only possible because of the deep passion and emotional connection that consumers had for this iconic sneaker. This was and always has been more than a shoe. It was about what the Air Max sneaker represented. The holiday is a celebration of creativity and self-expression, and there were 4 ways we set out to empower consumers and the community to make the product, the day, and the experience their own. First, empowering through sharing and connecting, making it easy for everyone to share their love for their favorite versions of the Air Max across social media platforms, and inviting and connecting everyone into an international community of Air Max enthusiasts, putting the community at the center and in charge of this holiday experience. If you look up the hashtag Air Max Day on Instagram, you will see the shared passion for the sneaker world from around the world. Secondly, empowering creativity and individuality of the consumer through the Nike by You customization platform. This provided opportunities for the consumer to personalize their own Air Max sneaker, creating one-of-one versions of particular styles. By remixing old and new colorways, this unlocked an outpouring of creativity. Third, through the power of voting, giving consumers the platform to vote on the next Air Max shoe that the Nike brand should release in a particular season, thus literally putting the power in the hand of the consumer for the direction of the Air Max franchise. Finally, inspiring through innovative and immersive experiences across cities around the world, from Melbourne to Los Angeles. Here you see an amazing building-sized sneaker shoebox created to celebrate Air Max Day in Shanghai, China. Each wall of the building is composed of transparent air walls. People are able to walk into the shoebox and look at the walls composed of air bubbles that display their favorite Air Max sneakers. In the example here, the Japanese interior design firm Wonderwall built an amazing landscape garden in Tokyo's National Museum, composed of an array of white Nike Air Max styles. The designs showcase the Air Max story over all those years. Here you see an Air Vapor Max shoe launched into space. The shoe was attached to a weather balloon with 2 GoPro cameras and sent 118,000 feet above Los Angeles, a perfect way to showcase Nike Air. As you've seen, Air Max Day is a moment that the brand and the consumers create together. This collaboration makes the product and the brand more relevant in the consumer's life and increases brand affinity and resonance around the world. So, make the relationships with your consumer more inspiring and relevant by giving them the tools, the moments, and the canvas upon which to share their passion for you with the world. For the next principle, how can you build more personal brand experiences? You want your brand to be inspiring but also meaningful and tailored to each individual you serve. How can you better leverage all of the digital capabilities that are available to you as a marketer and the data your consumer is willing to provide for you? I want to share a series of brand concepts that we created at Nike that revolutionize the way you can seamlessly integrate physical and digital experiences, where we invited athletes to achieve their personal best across a wide range of sports. To begin this revolution, we started in Shanghai in a partnership with the agency AKQA and Kobe Bryant to create the House of Mamba, the first ever LED basketball court. The court had motion tracking capability and reactive visualization technology built into the floor. Imagine playing on top of an iPad powered by your own personal data. Kobe played an active role in the programming of the court, so that it could serve as a teaching platform for the young basketball players in Shanghai. This functionality, along with the breathtaking visuals, created a first-of-its-kind experience. Next, we passed the ball to New York City with the Last Shot experience during the NBA All-Star Weekend. This was a fully immersive and interactive LED half-court that let players reenact 3 great last shot moments from Michael Jordan's career. The experience transformed Penn Pavilion into a time machine, complete with 10 million LED lights and visual displays, showing the actual crowds that were on hand during those iconic Jordan moments. Players could follow Michael Jordan's movements on the court as the clock counted down before seeing if they could nail that game winner as Jordan had. The experience was dubbed the world's coolest basketball court by Wired magazine. From there, we went into the city center of Manila and created the Unlimited Stadium, the first ever LED running track, through a creative partnership with BBH Singapore. The running track covered the distance of an entire city block. The layout of the 200-meter figure eight track was derived from the footprint of the all-new Nike Lunar Epic running shoe that we had launched at that time, which was truly a revolution of innovation. And the track was lined with LED screens where up to 30 runners can take part in a virtual race against avatars of themselves. Imagine racing against a life-sized digital twin version of you. Finally, with the launch of the all-new Nike React running shoe, and through a creative partnership with Wieden Kennedy, we took over Metro City, a spherical building in Shanghai, and turned it into an interactive spinning globe. That made runners literally look like they were running on top of the world, spinning the earth on its axis. Runners ran on a treadmill hidden below and magically appeared on top of the building by using a 5-meter invisible screen and camera technology. The faster they ran, the faster they made the world go round. When you look at the relationships you want to create with each individual consumer, find ways to take them on a journey of progress, each day helping them to get closer and closer to their personal best. How can your products, services, and the stories you tell through marketing serve them over a lifelong journey and help them on their path to become the best versions of themselves? The final principle I want to share is leave a legacy, not just a memory. How can a brand use its position and platform in society to help create a more inclusive and better world? How can marketing amplify the voices of those that are unseen or unheard, or don't have access and opportunity to the same inspiration and innovation the rest of us do? Part of a marketer's role in today's brand landscape is to drive a social impact strategy and be able to authentically connect what you sell with what the world needs in a moment in time. At Nike, I worked for a brand that continually used the platform of sport to address some of the most pressing issues of our time. Here you see LeBron James' Equality Edition Nike basketball shoe, created to spark a conversation and action in the fight against racial injustice. Here you see the Nike Pro hijab innovation. It was only a short time ago that there were no hijabs created with performance fabrics for athletes, whether at the amateur or Olympic level. This created an unfair advantage for the competition because the athletes, when they would perspire, the traditional fabric would harden and they would block their hearing, and so they couldn't actually pick up some of the signals from the umpire, and thus getting false start penalties. And so it really created an unfair advantage. And Nike used its fabric innovation to level the playing field and support underserved athletes around the world. And for the final example, we go back to where we started this conversation, with the Air Force One, and realizing sometimes your product goes way beyond its intended use and can become a canvas to tell stories that spark a movement to create positive change in the world. We created a special edition of the Air Force One sneaker for Colin Kaepernick that was available to everyone. This became the True to 7 campaign. The 7 was not only Cap's jersey number, it also represented the 7 values important to Colin. To represent each value, we had the legendary photographer Platon create 7 individual portraits of Colin. These portraits, along with the very special Air Force One edition shoe, turned what could have been a traditional product launch around a sneaker with simply a picture and a product and a headline into a moment that was much more inspiring and empowering, a moment to invite people into a movement to change the world and continue to amplify Colin's voice and the cause to stop racial injustice in America and around the world. To truly spark a movement, you need to go beyond transactions. How can you use your brand and your products as an invitation to push the world forward and realize our collective potential as humans? If you would like to hear more about the Emotion by Design philosophy and the lessons from my career at Nike, you can find my book at all online retailers, and you can follow me on Instagram at ghoff70.
It has been a pleasure speaking with you today about Emotion by Design and how we can all create more relevant marketing solutions. As marketers, we have the opportunity to tell amazing stories about our brands, build more immersive experiences that are deeply personal to each customer, and create moments with our consumer to celebrate our shared passions together. And finally, use our marketing expertise to create a better world. Thank you.